Hello, I'm coming to you from a different angle today because I want to do a bit of screen sharing. So as I've started to put out these videos, I've had some great one-off conversations with consultants or report users that have given me a better sense of how these reports are being used in the wild. And it's become clear to me that one of the top issues right now in this industry is misunderstandings around SOC 2 report scope. People tend to review the report as this check in the box, oh, you have your SOC 2, great, let's do business. However, in practice, you have to remember that the SOC 2 report is an opinion of an auditor over a specific scope, over a specific system. It can be a tremendous tool when used with that scope in mind. However, we see people all the time saying, oh yes, we use Azure for our data center, and here's our due diligence over their SOC 2 report. They hand us a copy of the Office 365 SOC 2 report, which means that not only was their time spent reviewing it completely wasted, but they actually have no idea if the way they are using Azure is secure or not. So, scope is important. But how do you effectively define the scope in your first SOC 2 report? First, you need to identify your system, and a few key questions will help you do that. You'll want to think through who is asking for your report. Is it all your customers, a single customer, prospects, business partners? And for those entities in particular, what are the primary services that you provide them, and where does that underlying data live? Your answers to these questions will be the capital S system that you describe in your report. Let's take a look at the basic report structure for a visual of how this plays out. So we see in the table of contents, there are 5 sections that make up the basic SOC 2, and it's this section 3, description of the system, that you have the most control over to actually describe and define your system. And if we drill into that section 3, we see it's made up of these sections: services provided, principal service commitments and system requirements, and then components of the system used to provide the services. That's where you're really define the specifics of your scope, including the infrastructure that supports it, software, people that operate it, data, processes, and procedures. In a future video, we'll look at how you can further define report scope via the SOC 2 categories that you choose to include or not.